What's up, guys? Studfit here, joined by Antilev for another episode of The Rundown. This time for the Peach versus Bowser Tour. Welcome, Antilev.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
If you are not looking forward to talking about me's or doctors or different top 10 that we have, then you probably should tune out now because we have a lot to get to and try to be a little bit more condensed, a little bit more cognitive time as we've recorded lately. But I never want to skim past this. It's our stud fam. It's continuing to grow, as you see there. The super studs continue. We've got a couple people coming back. Kareem, the Knight Rosso are back at the super stud level, and you saw the Knight Rosso on Kart Talk. He did a phenomenal job as always. Special shout out to Larry98. He's been doing a lot of work in addition to being a mod, in addition to being awesome. Modsome. There's a word there that we could probably capitalize on. But with Tabor's retirement, Larry98 paired also with Sergeant Spike and N2 CJN have really, and I'd say probably Larry98's really been spearleading this project, but really kind of taking over what Tabor has been doing, trying to automate it as much as possible. He's done a phenomenal job. I should have to give a major shout out to Larry98. You know him very well as of recently. Been doing some pipe pulls on the Frenzy Fans channel, also been on Kart Talk a number of times, but he's doing a lot of work also behind the scenes. So huge shout out to Larry. Couldn't have done this episode or maybe even the next few dozen episodes without Larry. We're just so fortunate to have him in the community and also spending his time in the server. So if you've enjoyed this, definitely leave in the comments your appreciation for Larry98, but also so many other great people here in the community. You see kind of the mod circle there around each of those who are really helping us out. Puffton's been doing a great job with the thumbnails, Edito and Hero the Skies as well. But we've seen this community grow. We're up to nearly 70 members. It's been exciting to see what this community has turned into. We're having so much fun. We had a contest for who's going to guess what the skills of the new drivers were going to be. Would they both have capsule? Would one have a special skill? So we have special prizes going out to those people who predict that right. I have a crazy busy weekend, so we'll pick up some of those. But we had some people select the inventory investments, inventory inspection. So, Antilev, we might keep you busy next week. Awesome. All right, guys, let's get into the week one pipe. We had a nice little change with the 9% odd, or the 9 high ends total, which is a great for a week one pipe. Unfortunately, the downside is we do have 2 capsule skills. But we have some other cool items. I ended up doing a YOLO pull just for the homies and got like the 2 items that I wanted. I kind of like the pink capsule because I do like pink. Pink is a cool color to me. And then this topaz, I forget what it's called, topaz, wicked topaz. And I just thought it kind of looked cool. And I happened to get it both on the 10 pull. Very, very lucky, but it was probably one of my favorite pulls, maybe of all time. I don't know. But did you pull in this pipe? Wow. Okay.
It's coupled with the fact that the drivers have bad skills, and it's always a kind of a gamble with new karts and gliders. I know we've had some really good special pipes. I mean, we had the white items special pipe in the last tour, which was I think was it the last tour or the tour before? I don't know. I spent a lot of rupees on it though. And we're gonna have some coin box special pipes coming up this tour that look pretty good as well. So I think I'll be skipping over the main spotlight pipes and looking more at the special pipes.
Yeah. The good news is that there's a lot of special pipes, and the other good news, we have a lot, and potentially bad news, we have a lot of extra packs you can get. If you need some extra rubies, so many packs. We'll get into all of that here in the next hour and so minutes. But let's first talk about the new items. So we do, as we alluded to, Dr. Peach, Dr. Bowser with this capsule skill. I think the general thought process on this capsule skill is less than positive. I'm not a big fan. I don't think really I haven't heard anyone to be a really big fan. It's similar to the hammer and its mechanics. But just like any non-top skill, it might help you on coverage if you're free to play, gold pass only. But if you put any money into the game, these are skills you're probably good with skipping. Then we do have this question mark, blockheads, SpongeBob, Packer fan me suit, which is the Riddler me suit. I've heard a number of different names. Let us know in the comments what your specific favorite name would be. But I think Antilev's going with Blockhead. But we have him as a ranked reward. It's interesting because obviously Coinbox coming at the same time that we're getting access to this gold me suit. Doesn't look like a lot of overlap with that gold me suit, but we'll get into that here in a second. Along with 2 karts, both capsule karts. Man, it's almost like these capsule karts are like the Mark IIs or something, where it's so hard to keep track of. And honestly, it's I don't know if any of them are really that great, but it's a medium-sized hitbox, maybe a little even on the smaller side. And then we have the pink magnifying glass and the wicked topaz. So, but overall, items, I don't say they're must pulls by any means, but this we'll get into the question mark block for sure. Antilev, let's walk through this coverage. Help us out here.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we can talk about the overlaps a little bit. I like starting with the drivers. I mean, okay, so yeah, you know, a non-plus kill driver has got really, really big sort of barrier to entry, shall we say. Like, it needs to be like Tanuki, Rosalina, Blackbirdo, you know, those Beach Explorer levels of coverage before it really has any value, and you just don't know that soon. So anyways, let's start with Dr. Peach. She actually has like a pretty good start in terms of volume. They both do. They started with 10 tracks, which is the max for a new item. Overlaps are mostly with the most notable ones are Charging Chuck with 4 overlaps. She has Pink Shy Guy Ninja 3, Party Time Pauline 3 overlaps, and yeah, she also has 4 overlaps with Dr. Mario. You know, she has some good tracks. She has Wario Shipyard RT, which is pretty paywalled. I think she has a couple of the Koopa Caves, although one of them is a level 8 unlock. Yeah, I mean, she's got a Coconut Mall. It's like an okay start, but I mean, nothing about it says to me, you know, you need to have this driver. 7 of her 10 tracks are Coinbox tracks already. Yeah. So this is a really Coinbox heavy tour. I think 30 of 36 tracks are Coinbox. All the new Koopa Cape tracks have 1 Coinbox option at least. Dr. Bowser, very much the same story, also 10 tracks, also 7 of them being Coinbox tracks. His most interesting tracks, which he probably has, is Bowser's Castle RT, Wario Shipyard RT. He's got also Coconut Malty, I think only Luigi Vacation there is a top skill driver. Yeah, not as many overlaps. He's mainly overlapping with Charging Chuck 3 times, Wario Me Racing Suit 4 times, Mario Golf 4 times. Yeah, and then we finally have the Blockhead, or the Cheesehead, what do you want to call it. Yeah, so this is a typical me suit start with only the single level 3 and level 6 unlocks. It kind of looks more like a super starting off. So in terms of overlaps, it's not that fantastic. He does, I think, start with 1 exclusive, but I think we have a slide on him, so let's focus on him in full later, and I'll go on to the cards. We got the pink capsule cart starting with 8, which is the minimum for a new normal item now, mostly overlapping with Happy Ride 4 times, White Bruiser 3 times, Red Taxi 3 times, Pink Beat Dasher Mark 2 3 times, the regular capsule cart 3 times, and OG Beat Dasher Mark 2 3 times. Green Yellow capsule cart starting with 9 tracks, so that's right in the middle, and also looks really cool. It doesn't have that many carts where it has like a lot of 3 overlaps or more, but they're good carts. It overlaps 3 times with Prop Cart, Off-Roader, Magma Broom, and Fast Frank. Those are all like really at least decent carts to exceptional carts, so it's kind of scary overlap there starting out for the green yellow capsule cart. Then we go into the gliders. We've got the pink Magnifying Glass, 8 tracks, starting with 8 tracks. It's got 3 overlaps with Starry Gray Sail and the Aurora Balloons, also 3 overlaps with Yukata Ribbon, Chocolate Donut, and the Blooper Hanafuda. It's, yeah, I mean, not really super interesting. It's got the Wario Shipyard RT, which is a pretty tough one, and it's got a couple of the Koopa Capes, Coconut Mall. It's yeah, I mean, none of these are really blowing me away with their starting coverage. It's just, I don't know why. And finally, the Wicked Topaz. It's just definitely for me the coolest looking item in the week 1 pipe. the new items. Starting with 9 tracks, including all unlocks, it overlaps 3 times with the Wonderful Wings, 3 times with the Wicked Wings, 3 times with the Origami Glider, 3 times with Ninja Scroll, and 3 times with the Flying Easel. It looks like a marginally better start than the other one. If I have to pick one item from this pipe, which I think is going to do the best, I would pick the Wicked Topaz. Yeah.
And you traditionally have been a big fan of Red Shell, which I think in general it's when coming back from behind, that's a nice skill to have too. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm having to pick between that and maybe investing in this green sprout for this brand new track for the Cape, just regular. So I don't know, man. I still haven't I haven't pulled the trigger on anything. There's some other ones on there too, but it looks really. I think it looks really cool. All things considered.
Yeah, I mean, my normal MO for like investing in new items, I usually wait like 3 or 4 tours to give them at least like a few rounds of buffs to see what kind of direction they're going in. The only time I ever invest in new items is if I'm pushing really hard for ACR, so I'm not really the best person to you can tell something from the initial track selection. Like in the case of the B-Dash Mark II palette swaps, the alts, you could tell they all had started with 8 cities, so that's like a really difficult obstacle to overcome. Yeah. But for the most part, you can't tell a lot, so that's why we can give an indication of what we think, but there's nothing here which is like, yes, you need to invest in this.
Yeah, really good point. Let's get into this question mark me racing suit, specifically which tracks have overlaps with top skills. So as you alluded to, the Koopa Cape it's not in ranked at all for this tour, but it does have Shy Guy Ninja, the pink one, and Charging Chuck for the Koopa Cape R. I absolutely love Pink Shy Guy. This has been, so far when it comes to grinding EXP, this is the track I've been grinding. So I'm going to get the other two for ranked, but this one's actually a really fun track for Giant Banana. I wish it was in ranked because it is so much fun. It's really narrow, and you can drop those Giant Bananas, and it is crazy great. In Coin Box, it's not a bad track. It's a little windy. That part can be a little tough, but there's some sections, especially kind of in this lake river area, that you can kind of get a nice coin box. But there's also some flying sections and some areas where you might want to get this special trick off the half pipe. But I think that's one of the better tracks that he has. Moving forward, Bowser's Castle 2R 2T. You might just want to ignore this one. You probably have a better option, and probably will forever, because you probably have. If you're an old school player, you have Dry Bones Gold really high level, but you probably have Kamek or Meowser at a high level too. Worst case scenario, you have a couple of Lucky 7 options with Lakitu Party Time and the Nabbit suit. Sunset Wilds T to round out the 3 that come, the base tracks that he comes with. We have Luigi Painter and Gold Yoshi. This one's a good one. The thing is the overlap with the Yoshi. I think if you're like me, you might have held back and saved your tickets for this gold me racing suit. This is actually, this is one that Luigi Painter had really is the only top skill. So he kind of loses here, obviously with Gold Yoshi getting this track and this question mark block kind of taking it from him. But overall, it's good for him. It's a great track if all things considered. Then we have the Vanilla Lake 2R with Kamek, and then the Silver Me Racing suit. So this is again one that Kamek had, and he was really the only coin box driver on this track. Now it's a little more cluttered, but still a solid track for the question mark me racing suit. And then for level 6 unlock, you have a couple coin box options, a couple other options when you're thinking about Boomerang, but not a bad track. There's some coins on the track for the Boomerang to kind of make it pretty powerful there. But I think most people have Dry Bones Gold or Meowser at a high level, so that's not going to be a great track for the question mark block suit. And then Coconut Mall R. This is one, really it's hit or miss. It's kind of same situation when you're talking about the Gold Yoshi, but you have some Boomerang options as well. It's a newer track. So if you missed out on Gold Yoshi, I think a lot of people were still hurting for rubies at that point in time. Question mark block might cover Sunset Wilds T and Coconut Mall R for you. However, unlocking a level 8 is just so tough. So I wouldn't necessarily even count that one as one that has a really strong option unless you're ready to go all the way. But Antilev, tell us a little bit more about the question mark suit.
Yeah, so this is the first coin box we're getting as like one of the theme suits. You know, not talking about the bronze or gold or silver, whatever. So it's been pretty anticipated. Excuse me. Unfortunately, you need to come first in rank to win it, which seems like it will be very difficult because everybody will be going for it. So he starts off with 6 tracks. Only one of those is a non-coin box track, and I haven't really grinded Koopa Cape R yet, but from the DKR sheet it says that 200 is possible with Big Shy Guy, who I'll be using there, so I'm sure it's possible with Chuck also. If I can get 200 with a giant banana driver, I would rather use that than a coin box driver. Just for an example, like in one recent tour, I was grinding Airship Fortress T with Pink Shy Guy Ninja. I got a score with 210 actions that I calculated out would be equivalent to a coin box score with 270 actions. So yeah, it's crazy how good the base points of giant bananas and banana hits are. So if you can get the 200 with the giant banana driver, I will always take that option.
So what you're saying, just to explain that, the base points for banana accuracy is higher than the base points for a coin.
Correct, yeah.
So equivalent in this case to roughly 60 above 200 actions. So as you know, there's kind of a point diminishing return where the points are worth something different after 200. And even in that case, you're talking about 60 additional actions difference between a coin box and giant banana. That's substantial and worth noting.
Yeah, a coin action is worth 58 points once you reach the 200 action soft cap, and there's no more bonus point boost. And a banana hit is roughly 52 points more than coin action. So if you have like 40 or 50 banana hits, say you have a double giant banana frenzy, that's times 50. That's how many points you're getting. That's worth, if you talk about 58 times 10, that's 580 points for 10 coin actions. You're talking about that being 50 actions worth of bonus just from the extra banana points or something. And yeah, you can see it in practice. So that's not to run off on a tangent there, but so that's his only non-coin box track, or his coin box exclusive track, and it has 2 like pretty good and meta drivers on it as well that you can still probably equally score as high with. So I'm not like super impressed by his start. I think a big advantage from the Mii suits is the fact that they get this buff on the first track of every cup. So you have to also consider their mid-shelf tracks. He only has 1 mid-shelf, which is not an unlock, and that is Koopa Cape T. So I think, is Koopa Cape T the first track that he's cup boosted?
It's in rank next week, which is it's not the Mii Cup, so I don't think it would be cup boosted.
No, it's the second cup. Okay, so he's not. But anytime, say, Koopa Cup Cape T would show up in that first slot on the cup, then he'll be a top shelf, for example. So we'll see how his mid shelves going forward. Those will need to be taken into account. I think it's another wait and see one, but again, it's coin box, so you may, if you're a type who wants to have full coin box coverage, but I think considering a start, you can afford to wait before you invest.
Yeah, he's going to be a strong one. So it makes me wonder, how we've had like a King Boo suit, and we've had, these Nabbit suits, like suits after characters. I wonder, when thinking about coin box, I don't know if we really have a coin box like driver that's just like, that's all they are. And I wonder if this, because everyone's like a Pinkle Peach or Peach Vacation, it's like an alt. Even like Yoshi Gold, he's Meow's.
We could have Kamek.
Kamek, yeah, I guess Kamek could have been one. Do you think this replaces a Kamek, or do you think we could also see a Kamek suit?
No, I think we could see a Kamek suit as well.
Okay, we'll see what that turns out. This is obviously the first, that's not silver, gold, and bronze. We'll see what happens, and they might continue it. Continue going though. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out there.
No, you went through the tracks one by one, so there's not, I'm just giving the overall color. I don't see that he adds a lot of value. And the advantage of the Mises is also their base point boosts. So eventually, it would be the best option on all these tracks. But are you going to commit that really requires you taking it to like level 7 or 8 and triple capping it. You absolutely would have to triple cap, so that's a huge investment. Yeah, once you get it to that level, it's the best option, but that is a marginal benefit if you have all these other good Coinbox drivers at decent level.
Yeah, we'll see if Nintendo stops giving us all these great skilled drivers enough to let us save some tickets. But let's get into some of the other parts of the pipes and packs. Charging Chuck was a recent addition to the non-spotlight driver. So, when we're talking about all clear pipe, when you're talking about all these pipes, you have options now. Even this gold token pipe, you can get Charging Chuck, which is phenomenal. A Lucky 7 driver, especially a newer one, who's still getting buffed, still peaking.
Yeah, he's really new. I mean, I think
I was quite
surprised by that, you know?
Yeah, this is a big surprise. I mean, really, no one was added this recently, considering the fact of how new it is. I mean, it's just, and then to have a top skill on top of it this is the one you want to be pulling, unless you have it at level 8, which there might be like 0.5% of the players who might have that situation. But he is a great driver. Highly recommend that. In addition to next week's spotlights, you also have the temporary non-spotlight drivers. This is due to the Dr. Fest. Just be aware you could pull Dr. Mario, Dr. Luigi in a rare situation, but it's certainly possible. Same thing goes for the Capsule Cart and the blue-green Capsule Cart. Nothing new was added to the non-spotlights, though. Same with the gliders in addition to the carts. All right, let's get to the week 2 pipe. We have Peach versus Bowser, Pipe 2. Looks like another 9% high-end pipe here, but we have the Aviators items as well as Rosalina Halloween. But instead of like some of the Halloween carts and gliders, we have the Star Broom and Aurora balloons, which look great together. But I think the Aurora balloons might be one of the better glider between those two, and the prop cart being the better cart. In addition to everything else you have in 100 pipe. But what are your thoughts here on the week 2 pipe?
I think it's a really strange pipe, and I wonder if it's foreshadowing some kind of tour going forward where it's like a flying theme, because it seems like a lot of, I mean, I know we just had the Sky Tour, but like, like a witch flying on a broom and some clouds and an airplane. I don't know. It's a weird pipe. The drivers I'm not really interested in at all. The carts and gliders are very good. Prop cart and Star Room, I think, are both like top 15 carts. Prop cart is like, I think it's maybe not number 1, but it's getting close. Skyflyer and Aurora Balloons also both really solid. I think Aurora Balloons might be top 10 or top 15. Skyflyer is also like top, I don't know, 25 or something. So those items are pretty good. Yeah, but it's difficult to go into a pipe when the drivers are pretty not good. Not to put fine point on it. If you missed out on the prop card and you really want it, because it is one of the best cards in the game right now, go for it. But at the same time, it's also like hard to say go clear 100 pipe for like one specific card.
Solid points there. I think you nailed it. I'm not pulling. You're not pulling. There's some great pipes this tour. Like these here, we have 2 team pipes. These are bonkers, guys. This is a Coinbox cart for both teams. Team Peach, Team Bowser. Man, this is tough. It's going to be even difficult to decide which one you're going to pull. But essentially, we have Team Peach pipe with some old drivers. And I think this is kind of when it came to me and how I'm pulling. On Sunday, I'll be throwing somewhere in the 700, 800 rubies into the Team Bowser pipe because I really like the fact we have Kamek, we have Gold Cooper free running, which both I have at 1400. Would love to get them to level 8. Now, Santa Bowser, I do owe an apology. I felt pretty good. It was a safe investment to take to level 8, thinking that he probably wouldn't be back until December or so. I was wrong, and here he is in May. And however, he's a great driver. His items are a little squirrely. I'm not a big Jolly Bells or Holiday King fan necessarily. I think they both look great, but I don't have them at a high level. I never see them as like, oh shoot, I should have had that. However, the Kamek item's always pretty strong, especially if you like the way that the Zoom Broom handles. Go Cooper free runnings. I think his whole set pretty strong here. I'm a huge fan of Gold Crane. It is kind of like that strawberry donut, where you're always seeing it frequently on these, Waluigi pinballs. You're seeing it on some Mario circuits. You're seeing it still in the meta. And then the Cheap Cheap Charger was pretty useful for me on some of the Koopa Troopa options, as well as also the Rainbow Roads. I'm gonna have to pull that one to get it a couple extra levels for ranked this week, just to secure that that blockhead me suit. But yeah, the Team Bowser is the pipe I'm gonna lean towards. But I do know that you're a big fan of the items that come with the Party Time Pauline, including Rose Parasol and some other items there. But these are some old items. Are you going to be doing the same and pulling for the Team Bowser pipe?
So I'm kind of in a similar situation to you. I've got Bowser already at level 8. I wanted him for that. He's got one of the best level 8 unlocks in the game. Is that Rosalina Ice World RT, where he's the only Convex driver. So I got him up there like pretty quickly. And in that sense, the thing is, I'm not really interested in any of the other items in the Bowser pipe on my main account. Like the gold crane would be nice to get some dupes. I think I have them on a level 7. But none of the other items. I mean, Dream Glider is an awesome glider, don't get me wrong. But just from a personal level, I don't really use Gold Koopa or Kamek that much. I do see myself using Pink Gold Peach and Peach Vacation more often. And like ACR, they still have a couple of exclusives. Pink Gold Peach has a really good level 8 unlock with the Rosalina's Emerald's T. I don't have either of them level 8 yet, so I might be leaning towards the Team Peach pipe. I'm still not on this. I'm still undecided. They're both really good pipes. The gliders in the Team Peach pipe are great. 3 really, really good gliders. And Pink Gold Meteors is a nice one. I think it's top shelf on Koopa Cape normal. So if you don't have a top shelf glider, don't go pull a pipe for one specific item. But if you are undecided about both of these pipes anyways, it might be a good one. The Karts in general, I'm not a huge fan of. They have all Karts that were kind of used to be pretty good. Kamexum Broom is really good coverage wise, but it's a broom. I think what you're looking for here is the drivers and the gliders. But they're both really good pipes. I think it depends on what your inventory looks like and where you need to level up.
Yeah, Pink Gold Peach, I just know she's going to get to level 8 just naturally in this game. There's too many packs that she's in. There's too many pipes that she's in. She's just going to get to level 8 pretty naturally. I'd say that the Peach Vacation would be like the driver that I'd be the most interested in there. But I think she's like comparable to me, like Gold Koopa free running, where, she's got some exclusive coin box tracks that are pretty solid, but they're older, and it's not like I have to have it. But for me, the Party Time Pauline is just such a dud in this pipe. It turns me off pretty substantially. But I will say that from the Karts on that Peach, the Team Peach pipe, the Wild Pink is a pretty strong card. I still use it pretty heavily. And it only being 7,595. I think there's like a Maple Treeway. There's a couple other tracks that just, I don't know. It for whatever reason, it's held a lot of value. The Rose Queen used to be a top 3 cart, and it has fallen. I never use it. It's quite sad. And I have it at the same level as this Wild Pink. So for what it's worth, I like that. You know what? I know the Rose Parasol is probably my favorite glider in that pipe. It's really, really strong. I still feel like this Team Bowser pipe is just the stronger of the two. I do wonder what's happened to Kamek. I have not used Kamek in quite some time in ranked or anything else, so it'd be great to see some love for some Kamek. If you need some rubies to pull on that pipe, got plenty of options. Let's talk about the studs and duds for these week 1 packs versus week 2 packs. Here in week 1, we got more studs than duds in my opinion. We'll start with the 45 ruby packs. Cat Toad, Cat Todd. I know he, out of a lot of the non-skills, he's got some of the better coverage. I agree, but he's still Super Bell. And I know Super Bell is just a couple hairs below Triple Bananas. Still, it's got to be a dud for me. I can't give everyone a stud. So for me, I've kind of split it up. Out of the 8 normal packs, I'm giving 4 and 4. 4 studs and 4 duds. Out of all the duds, I'd probably put him second highest, only behind next week's 90 Ruby pack. But to me, he's a dud. With Rosalina, Tanuki Rosalina, which I think for a 45 Ruby pack to get a driver that has this much coverage and this new, I think it's pretty strong value. I think she's probably one of the lowest of the studs, but I still have to give her props just because of her coverage And for somebody who needs to compete and needs to be able to kind of play catch up, it's not a bad pack for you. I kind of put it right over the edge into the stud category. For these 90 Ruby packs, though, both of these are super solid studs. Probably the top 2 studs of the entire tour. You have Salaview, which is he's probably one of the coolest looking drivers in the game. Only behind, in my opinion, Mario Samurai. He's just so cool looking with the space, and Lunar Cruiser's pretty solid as well. But to get both of those in one pack, super solid value. And then you have Charging Chuck and the Jukebox Buggy, both really fun items that are still pretty new. They're still peaking on coverage, getting new tracks, and Charging Chuck is really solid for ranked this week, especially. So I think overall that one's probably my favorite pack of all of them is the Charging Chuck and Jukebox Buggy, to be honest with you. And then we have this overpriced pack, the 90 Ruby pack with just the ship's wheel. You could have got that ship's wheel as a spotlight in a special pipe. I think this, out of all these overpriced packs we've seen so far this year, this is probably one of the lowest values I've ever seen. So I put it below the Silver Manta Glider and well below the others. So I thought the Black Rate Sale, I thought like some of these were really tempting. This one's not tempting at all. I'm buying packs like they're candy, and I'm staying away from that one. That one's not fun. Week 2, we have Luigi Golf. If you like Luigis and you like collecting Luigis, go for it. I think this is probably the second worst pack, only behind this Waluigi Bus Driver. That is my least favorite pack this tour. I like Waluigi, but his coverage is just so awful. It's literally laughable. And then this is probably the best dud, which again, it's not necessarily anything to write home about. But the Daisy Swimwear, just because you got the triple bananas, and then this silver, the regular Surf Sailor. Is that the Surf Sailor?
Sunny Surf Master.
Sunny Surf Master. Yeah, not really big fans of the glider. I have the driver, a medium level. I'm not a big fan of that either. So there's where I stand on the packs. Antilev, what do you think? Do you mostly agree? Where did I go wrong?
No, I mostly agree. I think Ship's Wheel is like a pretty good glider, but it's still a rip-off being a 90 Ruby pack. I think Cat Toad in like more recent tours where we've had a lot of bad packs would be a stud, but yeah, as you say, there's a lot of studs here, so he kind of falls down. But yeah, you nailed it. The real value is in these 2 week 1 90 Ruby packs, the Charging Chuck and Stellaview. These are awesome, amazing value. If you're going to buy anything, I would go for one of those 2. Other than that, yeah, not much to disagree with. The Golden Wings pack is a bit of a, like Gold Dry Bowser is, he did randomly get buffed on 2 of the Koopa Cape tracks, so he's got some use, but he's got the bow bomb cannon, and he's an old driver who's all of his tracks are overlapped by drivers with better skills. So I think you almost have to see that as a 90 Ruby pack with only the Golden Wings in which case Golden Wings is still, in my opinion, probably the best glider in the game right now, but yeah, I didn't
review it. It's my lowest stud, but I do like the Golden Wings and actually Gold Dry Bowser for what it's worth. I only use like that one track, and now I'm using the Pink Gold Peach because it's at that level level 8.
Level 8 unlock, yeah.
But if you need some coverage, I still think he looks cool. I have him right over my shoulder here, so I don't know. Like I'm a little biased. I don't think he's like terrible. But his coverage is old, and he doesn't have a great skill. But I think for like flashy multiplayer, you just want to freak some people out. Have him in your lobby, you'll start to see some panicking. Yeah, man. That maybe a little biased there, but he's definitely my lowest stud. Would you put that pack above or below Cat Todd?
Ooh, difficult. It's difficult. I think Cat Todd is actually kind of a useful driver. I don't know if we've necessarily explored the full usefulness of Super Bell yet. I'm waiting till somebody puts up some. It's one of those items where the potential is not based on the action count potential, but the base point potential. Because like a Super Bell hit has such a high value, so I don't think we really know yet how good it is. I would probably say you got it right. That one is a stud, and he's a dud if you have to choose between. Just because the Golden Wings is so good. I mean, it's really the best glider in the game for me right now.
I'm with you there. I used Cat Peach, Demon Rat, and ranked last week on the Ghost Valley, and honestly, wasn't bad. And I know with the buffing of the skill points, that was increased with the big update. So I know it's not bad. I'm just not gonna use him. I think actually I have him at level 7 now. I still never used him. Well, let's get to the who got buffs, because we got a lot of buffs here. As you can see, the biggest winner here of the buffs is your girl, Rosalina of Aldendam. She's got 3 new tracks here with a total of 12 non-city tracks, 4 cities. You want to talk about her coverage? Because I know you're probably really concerned about it. Obviously, you took her to a pretty high level. How do you compare what her buffs were, especially with them being 2 Toad circuits?
So Toad Circuit R is a coin box track. So that's, but they're difficult tracks to coin box. These Toad circuits, they're flat and there's not a lot going on. They're really hard to get to 200 even with coin box. And Toad Circuit T is a non-coin box track, so that's actually a really good buff for her. I think you had like Nabbit there before, so you could Lucky 7 it, but I think it'll be easier to hit 200 with a boomerang driver on that one. So that's a nice buff. And then she got one of the new Koopa Cape Ts, which is a really good one for her. I think maybe Luigi Vacation got that one as well, but still, she's going really good. She started off with those 4 cities, so it was a bit like not sure, but then I think she got 4 buffs last tour and 3 buffs this tour, so it's a really strong start. I'm actually considering triple capping her instead of investing right away in a gold Misu, just because she's had such a strong start. So very good buffs for her.
Yeah, I know one of the things you and I both agree on is some of these shorter tracks. A boombox driver could be a boomerang driver is probably going to be better even than coin box in many cases, because you can get that boombox, maybe a coin, and call it a day. Whereas getting a double coin box and maybe a couple singles, especially in a crazy squirrely track like Toad Circuit, where you're basically turning the entire time except for one section. So I haven't seen what her the middle shelf is for that Toad Circuit R. But my guess is that this might be a really good option because it is a shorter track in general with plenty of item boxes. For the other drivers that got buffed, we'll start with 2 buffs here. We have a number of them. Berta White, Bronze Me Suit. That one's pretty good. So the Bronze Me Suit now has 13 on-city tracks, 1 city, so a total of 14. But both of these buffs were on the Bowser's Castle 2. They're charging Chuck. Got excellent buffs, phenomenal buffs here. Fortunately, I believe both of them actually really strong when it comes to ranked. You have one that's in ranked, but you got a coin box driver with Party Time Pauline, and then the reverse, you have the Pink Ninja. I think comparatively though, feel pretty good about that. He's got 23 non-city tracks, 4 cities for a total of 27 tracks, which is really, really good. I think he had kind of a slow release where we were kind of concerned about his tracks at first. I think right now though he's starting to peak. Might not even be done. He might get to 30 in the next couple months. Daisy Farmer, unfortunately, got a buff, but and not that they're bad, but she's just a tough skill, especially a tough pipe to get her in. We did get the Donkey Kong Me Racing Shoes up to 10 non-city tracks. I know a lot of people went pretty into him. The Mario Samurai got 2 Bowser's Castle tracks, so 15 non-city tracks, 4 cities. Meowser is a huge winner this tour. 24 non-city tracks, 2 cities up to 26, which is pretty high for a coin boxer. Both of his tracks Bowser's Castle though, so you get a nice big hitbox compared to using maybe a smaller hitbox like Dry Bones Gold. And then you got Yoshi Gold getting the new Koopa Cape, Sunset Wilds T. So 16 non-city tracks, 0 cities. He's actually already number 6 on our list. You want to just pause there? What do you think about the drivers that got 2 buffs?
So I don't want to spend a ton of time on all the buffs, but like I said before, Gold Drive Bowser randomly got these 2 buffs. You have a lot of all types of items, some random buffs on old items, which is pretty fun and interesting. And they're
Yeah.
kind of throwing a bit of a wrench in there. We'll get to the other ones on the Karts and Gliders later. Gold Yoshi has got Sunset Wilds T as a new Coinbox exclusive track, where he's the only top shelf Coinbox driver. And he got a new Koopa Cape, so really strong buffs for him. It's also part of the reason why he cracked the top 10. Sunset Wilds T is a pretty, I think, difficult track to Coinbox because there's like a lot of jumps and a lot of flat space. But look, you should be able to get to 200 with him on that. So that's really nice. Yeah, Charge and Shock, great. 2 new tracks, Koopa Capes. The interesting thing about Chuck is he has no exclusives, where he's the only plus skill driver. There's a lot of tracks though, so he is really like, he's got a huge coverage, but he doesn't have the exclusives. And then finally, yeah, Meowser is like, 24 non-city tracks for a Coinbox driver. This was his last tour of buffs on regular and RT tracks. There were 2 courses which he had not seen yet. Those are Koopa Troopa Beach and Bowser's Castle 2. So he's done now, except for like there's a bunch of RTs we haven't seen since the Trick Tour. Excuse me. But he got 2 buffs, so he's up to 24 non-city tracks, which is like blows every other Coinbox driver away. I mean, he's really, really good now, and he's deserved number 1.
Yeah, we'll get into the top 10 list as we have some changes there too. But want to kind of round things out with the drivers that got 1 buff, including the Gold Me Racing Suit, who got the Koopa Cave T, which is a nice new track there. We also have Luigi Vacation, who got that same track. He's up to 19 non-city tracks, 6 cities, for a total of 25 total tracks, which is great for him. And then the Silver Me Racing Suit, up to 15 total tracks. Got the Koopa Cape regular for those who invested in him. And then my boy Pink Shy Guy Ninja got the R version. He's up to, fortunately, he's only at 18 total tracks, 3 of those being cities. But he's still got plenty of tracks to see. And then, of course, you got the Party Time Pauline. Yeah, to your point, it was nice seeing some old drivers get some buffs. That's fun. It's kind of like, Nintendo's kind of allowing some of these day one players to benefit from having, some of these higher levels, like, Dry Bones Gold as an example, or Dry Bowser Gold as an example. What are your thoughts on the rest that got buffed? Anything to stand out?
Yeah, like Pink Shy Guy, it's always good to see him get a buff. So I'm not worried about him. He's got plenty of ways to go. The King Boom Me Racing Suit is looking like maybe the best of the themed Me Racing suits. It doesn't have a huge amount of tracks, but none of them do. But he seems like it's in ranked all the time. Got a good skill, and it's just useful when it's there. So if I had to choose one of those racing suits, which isn't the bronze, silver, or gold, I'd probably be picking that one. Yeah, Cat Rosalina, a bit of a sad story because she came on the same tour as Meowser. She is now done as well. 21 tracks is not bad for non-cities, but it's not great when you don't have a top skill. And then not a whole lot else to talk about. The Gold Me Racing Suit, still got so many tracks to see, and he's already at 19, so I think that will in the future be an easy number 1. Yeah.
Good, man. Let's get to the carts. A lot of carts that got buffed, but none got 3 buffs. All of them had 2 or 1. Let's just kind of start off the top. We have a lot of these capsules get some buffs, which is cool. And then you have the Combo Cruiser, up to 22 total tracks, 19 non-city tracks, 3 cities. Number 1 cart in the game now, guys. It's got a great hitbox and just a generally fun cart. I'm so glad. It's weird when they have, like, what I don't like about these capsules, there's so many of them, it doesn't really, like, allow us to be able to enjoy that one. Whereas, like, Combo Cruiser, it's like, this is the Combo Cruiser. Like, this is its time. We're enjoying it now. We get to enjoy it. If they come out and have, like, a Taco Cruiser or something like that, like a reskin later down the line, that's cool, too. We'll be able to enjoy it one after another. But to, like, have 4 capsules all within, like, 2 tours, it's just too much. I'm not going to invest in any of them. Whereas Combo Cruiser, phenomenal cart. We do have the Jet Cruiser that's now up to 22 non-city tracks, 7 cities. The Jukebox Buggies, we talked about. It's been really good in ranked. It's been getting great buffs. Not the greatest hitbox, but it's number 2 on our list with a total of 27 total tracks. We do have some broom action this tour. We got the Magna Broom up to 17 non-city tracks, 1 city. So a total of only 18, but number 13 on our list. So something to keep track of. The Prop Cart. 21 non-city tracks, 22 cities. It's been crushing it since it came out. It is number 3 on our list. White Bruiser, only at 10 non-city tracks, 0 cities, but got some really good buffs. I'm actually thinking about leveling that one up myself. And then the Warrior Wagon came out really, really hot out the gates. It's still getting 2 buffs, but you see it fall out of the top 15. Not far out, but just wanted to point that out. It's up to a total of 19 tracks, 4 of those being cities. And then for the carts that got 1 buff, you saw the other side of the Warrior side of it. Armored Rider is still number 10, still in the top 10 on our list. It's got 17 total tracks, 1 of which is a city. We also have the Cupid's Arrow, 18 non-city tracks, 3 cities there. Got some other action, including your Flower Cart, 12 non-city tracks, 3 cities, and your Tiger Bruiser, 19 non-city tracks, 2 cities there. Lunar Cruiser, you got to call it out.
By the way, they both got the same track. By the way,
same track. You gotta love that. Gotta love that. You can take it to level 8 or whatever, and
they're both level 8, and they both get 1 buff, and it's the same track. It's just like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think Nintendo knows which carts you have your investments in. You got the Luna Cruiser, as we talked about, strong pack, 22 total tracks, 2 of which are cities, number 9 on our list. And then the Roaring Racer fell a little bit, but still in the top 15. 17 non-city tracks, 6 cities, so 23 total tracks. My favorite cart that I have right now is the Sakura Hop Rod, 12 non-city tracks, 5 cities, but I've been absolutely loving using it. I'm really happy with that. You got the Rami Rider, 10 non-city tracks, 0 cities. If you had it from back in the day and sitting there on your collecting dust for years, yeah, you finally get to pull it out. It's weird. It also had one of the Mushroom Gorges too. I think it was our version. So it's interesting that they've been bringing it back and kind of buffing it well after we wanted it to. But hey, you know what? If you got it early on and you really liked it, and you were a Kong fan or something, and you just put tickets on it just because, yeah, you're loving it right now. What are your thoughts on the buffed carts?
Yeah, so I think the first thing, we've got 3 older carts, which randomly all got 2 of the new Koopa Cape. You usually see like maybe a random older item get 1 buff on a new track. Jet Cruiser got 2 Koopa Capes, Gold Jeep Charger got 2 Koopa Capes, and Rose Taxi got 2 Koopa Capes. So that's like a huge boost to the value of these old carts by getting these new tracks. You don't expect to see that, and I think it's really interesting and nice. Yeah, the Jukebox Buggy is really strong in spite of its small size right now. It got Koopa Cape Normal and Koopa Troopa Beach N. Combo Cruiser got 2 buffs, but it didn't get one of the new tracks. It got Koopa Troopa Beach Normal and Toad Circuit T. I think that especially the Koopa Troopa Beach Normal is nice because that is a big wide open track, flat, a lot of room for coin boxing where you want a big cart for. Magma Broom got 2 nice buffs. That's catching up to its sister or brother broom, the Star Broom.
I don't think we want to assume any genders there. Antilev, we're gonna take
that's why I said brother or sister.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. And Dragonfly got 2 Sunset Wild variants, so maybe we're considering these Dragonfly, Firefly to be kind of autumn harvests, desert theme carts, maybe. I don't know. White Turbo Birdo got 2 Vanilla Lake 2 variants, so I think it's safe to assume that one is going to be a winter themed glider. And then I think what's a little bit disappointing is for some of the newer carts like Armored Rider, Flower Cart, Sakura Hop Rod, that we had a lot of returning retros and they only got 1 buff. I think we have Bowser's Castle 2, Koopa Troopa Beach, Sunset Wilds, Toad Circuit T, which we haven't all seen in a long time, and you would hope that these cards would get like more than 1 buff on all these older returning tracks, but unfortunately it's not the case. So I think the card buffs in general are kind of underwhelming. I would expect there to be more.
Yeah, well, we saw a lot of. You saw that last slide. We had a lot of driver buffs, but yeah, interesting that What I really like about where the game is right now is that they're buffing some of these old items. I know we've mentioned it, but like that is a lot of fun. Like I think for a lot of us, it's kind of a surprise when we open it up and we're like, oh, we get to use Drive Bowser Gold again. You know, we get to use Jet Cruiser again. Like, and it's really cool that they're doing this. I mean, heck, I would have never guessed I'm using the Gold cheap Charger in ranked this week. You know, it's a pleasant surprise. So I think that is a I don't know. I think they're throwing some love in the way of the day one players, some of the old school players, but then also giving some people a chance to get that as well. I don't know. I've just really enjoyed that. They did the kind of the same thing with Coconut Mall as well, allowing us to be able to use some older items. Really pleasantly surprised with that. And then we have gliders, as we alluded to. Not as many buffs as the drivers, but we have a number that got 2 buffs. Let's talk about those. So the Flybrary book and the Gold Toe Beam balloons both have 0 cities. Got 2 new tracks there. Golden Wings, as we talked about, absolutely crushing the game right now. I triple uncaps, level 8s, like it is so baller right now. It has got a total of 32 tracks, 6 of which are cities. Absolutely crushing it. And we got the Green Sprout. Got 2 buffs there, one of which is a ranked track, so you got to really like that. 1 city there, still too early to tell. I don't know, guys. I'm rooting for the SGS group there, but guys, this is tough. This is I think you would have hoped for a little bit more buffs. It'll come, but at least you got 1 for ranked. I think at least one of the tracks are great. I think on the reveal, Lucas said there were 2 great ones, but I'm only seeing 1, to be honest with you. I forget what the other one was, but I looked it up and it didn't look that great. Magnifying Glass, 10 non-city tracks, 0 cities. Origami Glider and the Sakura got 2 buffs for a total of 17 tracks and a total of 18 respectively. And then we have a number of gliders getting 1 buff, including this 8-bit Fire Flower, which many of us have seen at the tops of the list over the last couple months. It's still number 4 on our list. It's a great glider. It fell and then came back, and there's been some changes to the list, but overall, it's a really, really strong glider. I double uncapped it, I think, just 2 tours ago, and still feel pretty strong about that. Aurora Balloons, 24 total tracks, 4 of which are cities, and then Glinting Parasol, 24 total tracks as well. Same ratio with 4 cities. Record setter, it's been very controversial in the news. It's got the 2 level 8 unlocks and causing seizures, but it has 23 total tracks, 2 of which are cities, number 15 on our list. Silver Manta Glider, number 14 on our list, with a total of 29 tracks, 7 of which are cities. Then the Stargrade Sale, I saw a lot of people take this one all the way up, level 8, triple uncapped. It's got a total of 35 total tracks. Fortunately, 11 of those are cities. Still a really strong glider. Really, really strong glider, guys. It's been in the top 10 for, 2 months or so, maybe even 2.5. It's been really, really strong. It's number 2 on our list. Highest it's ever been. Really strong. Worth investing in there, too. And then Euros Parasol got a nice buff there for, you must be proud. It's going to be 33 total tracks. 12, though, are cities. What do you think about the gliders that got buffed?
So you didn't get the crazy doubles like this. So there's only 30 buffs for the gliders, and 17 of them are on Koopa Cape variants. I think something really interesting about this tour is that there's 130 total buffs on returning tracks, on returning items rather. More than half of those are on the 3 new tracks. 71 buffs on Koopa Cape tracks. And so there's a lot of items on all of these tracks. I mean, they're still paywall, but you do have options. So you have some good old gliders that got a buff: Rose Parasol, 8-bit Fireflower, Cheap Mask, Silver Manta, Starry Sale. These are all former top 10 or current top 10 gliders. It's really, because you probably have 1 or more of these already at a high level. So it's really nice to get buffs and items which you already have invested in. It's just like a nice bonus. Golden Wings is the big winner here. 2 buffs, both Koopa Cape tracks. It's a huge boost to its value. I think it's the 2 ranked ones as well. Let me just double check that really quick. Golden Wings.
At least.
No, I got R and T, so 1 ranked, but that's still pretty amazing. Nice to see Gold Toby and Balloons get 2 buffs as well after it kind of, failed to meet expectations, shall we say. Origami Glider, pretty disappointing. That got two of the Bowser's Castle variants where you're probably not struggling for a top shelf. Sakura Origami Glider seems like it's doing slightly better. It got Koopa Cape T and Vanilla 2R, so those are definitely more paywalled, more interesting tracks to have. Of course, the banner only version is the one that's getting more value of those two. Gold Eggshell Glider got Wario Shipyard RT. That's a pretty tough one, so that's a nice buff. But I mean, yeah, in total we don't actually have that many buffs for gliders. So, and a Green Sprout, the other
Koopa
one that's
Troopa
not
Beach
Koopa Cape is Koopa Troopa Beach T, correct? Yeah, so which is not. Yeah, I guess it's not that interesting of a buff.
No, it's really not. Some of the ones that you see here, Starry Great Sail is a great one. There's plenty of it. There's I think even Super and Normal on there. So you're not struggling to get coverage there by any means. You got Manta Glider, you got the Ship's Wheel, even heck the Chocolate Donut. I mean, there's so many options. I consider that a big L on that second track. But the rank track, the Koopa Cape, it's a great glider. And like I said, I'm rooting for it. I just want it to get the brightest buffs. Trust me, it's just not there. Let's talk about the top 10 algorithm, because this is a huge update. Again, we kind of use this transition from Tabor's retirement to kind of allowing you to have some ownership, Antilev, and as you are reviewing this top 10, like this is your list, and you're much more likely to be more passionate about it. And if anyone needs one throat to choke, it's right here on the screen. So
Exactly.
Let's talk about the new algorithm.
So basically, we Tabor, thanks to him for all his hard work.
Huge thank you, Tabor.
Yes, but we had to come up with something kind of in a hurry to try to bring you guys a top 10, top 15 list for the rundown in 2 weeks time. Larry's working really hard on updating the sheet, but I think it's going to take him a little time before he can replicate Tabor's top 10. So in the meantime, I put together my own formula for calculating rankings of all the items in the game. I used to previously make a ranking that was purely focused on ACR value. That was a fairly static ranking that basically mostly just took into account coverage, and it didn't change too much from week to week. Basically, if an item would get buffed, it would go up a little bit, and items wouldn't really go down hard unless some item below them got buffed. So I took that and I added a lot of things to it to make it kind of what I say is like kind of capture the spirit of Tabor's rankings, take into account a lot of different variables, and come up with something where we have a top 10 list, which is not exactly the same, but is kind of similar to what we've been going through, and hopefully it's something that we'll be able to use going forward. I'll go through the basic method of calculation. Instead of looking at different categories for the drivers and ranking them and then adding them up like Tabor did, we start with the value of every single course in the game. So every single course in the game is given a value based on the modifiers in that box on the top right where it says criterion and value. So I'll just go through them really quick. What do they all mean? The first one is the track action count potential impact. That basically says longer tracks are worth more. If you have a track where you can get to 200 actions, that's more valuable to have coverage on than a short track because you can score higher on it. You'd rather have a higher value item, higher level
multiplied by the points.
Yeah, exactly. So 100% means that a 150 action track is worth 3/4 of a 200 action. So you can play with these sliders yourself. You can download the sheet and see how the different things. We have it set to 75%, so that means that a 150 action course is worth a little bit more than 3/4. It's worth like 81.75% or something. Actually, the paywall ratio. Every track is rated on how paywall it is. So you've got some tracks which have only like 5 top shelves, all high ends, and you've got some tracks which have like 17 top shelves.
Like Koopa Troopa Beach
maybe the supers and stuff too. Yeah. So that's a way to calculate how paywall is a track. A more paywalled track it will have more value. And the 1.3 value there means that the most paywall track in the game is 30% more valuable than the least paywall track in the game, for example. Next, you have the DKG newness ratio. Basically, the newest items are worth more. That cuts off at 1 year old, so everything that's 1 year old or older counts the same. So we have 1.2 there, meaning the newest items are worth 20% of the oldest items. The track newness ratio, exact same thing. The more recent that a track came out, the more it's worth. So the newest tracks are worth 20% more than the oldest tracks. Cart size ratio, same thing. Biggest carts in the game are worth 20% more than the smaller tracks. Now what I did here is I cut off the lower bound so that, like, you know, you're comparing like Coconut to Happy Ride to Gold Egg to Pumpkin Cart. They're all small. I mean, I don't think one should be penalized more than the other. It's once you get to that level of smallness, it's just a small cart.
Kind of like non-top skills.
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt like some really tiny carts were getting like super penalized, like overly penalized, like Black Turbo Roberto and Gold Pumpkin. So 65% of an off-roader size. Everything below that is just 65%. It kind of smooths out the bottom. Glider skill ratio, the best skill versus the worst skill value. You can see how I rated the glider skills on the bottom right there. We used a 5% weight in Tabor, so I used a 1.05, which means that Blooper Plus gives a 5% bonus compared to Banana Plus, which gives no bonus. The rank type calibration, that is the old WCV value, the type of tracks that come back in ranked, where we have, RTs, I think, of like a 36% reappearance rate. So in that sense, RTs are the most valuable. Current rank bonus, I don't have anything in here for like ranked history because it's backward looking and we're trying to kind of, I guess, predict value going forward. But I do give a bonus for the items being currently in rank. So if a track is in ranked, it gets a multiplier. So a current toured ranked track is worth 25% more than all other tracks right now. The next one is the ACR track type impact. That is basically what the type of track is: normal, reverse trick, or the different kinds of cities, and it's based on the actual reappearance rate in ACR. And that is a kind of, if you would put that at 5, that means it's like full impact of that. If you put it 1, it's kind of a minimal impact. I put it right in the middle, so it basically means that NRT courses are worth more, RTs are worth a little bit less, and cities are worth a lot less. And then we have the driver skill. You can see on the left how all the driver skills are rated. That means a heavy coin box is 35% more valuable than a non-plus skill item. You can mess with the slider. You can put it to 1.5 and it will put the top to 1.5, and it'll also increase all the values of the other skills as well. It goes up and down like a ladder. Exclusivity bonus, this is one of the most interesting ones. If a plus skill driver or a coinbox driver has an exclusive, meaning that driver is the only driver with coinbox on that track, or that driver is the only driver with a plus skill on the track, they get a bonus. So I've set that to 1.5 times. So being the only plus skill driver, the only coinbox driver on a track, gives a 50% bonus for the value of that track. So that's how some drivers can get a really big value without having pure coverage. And then finally is the buff potential, and this is a way to kind of normalize for newer items that haven't seen a lot of tracks yet. Like say, so there's 200 retro tracks in the game right now. This is an assumption that after their debut of seeing the first 30 tracks or 33 tracks or whatever, they will get a further 8 buffs at minimum. So then that's kind of prorated over the number of tracks they have left to see. So say they have 100 tracks left to see, we'll give them an assumption that they will get 4 more tracks of average value. So that's a way to like kind of bring the newer items a little bit more in line, even if they don't have like huge coverage yet. So that is basically it in a nutshell. This sheet, you can download it. I've shared it on the various Discords. You can play with the numbers yourself to see how the different modifiers impact the rankings as well. And if you have a good idea for a set of values which makes more sense, I'm open to it. But yeah, I wanted to make it as customizable as possible so other people can really see like how the different modifiers impact them. But and we fiddled with it a lot to get the list we have. But I think it's a pretty okay list. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt really good about it. I was looking at the list and we had to make a couple tweaks, but overall it was really strong out the gate. Really impressed with it. Let's get to your feedback though. As you're watching this video live, as you're watching it after the fact, leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about this top 10 list. I feel really strong about it. Let's get into the drivers. Right off the bat, we have Meowser at number 1. We have the Gold Me Racing Suit at number 2. So these are our top 2 Coinbox drivers. Obviously, Meowser being a giant hitbox, getting amazing coverage, and then we have this brand new Gold Me Racing Suit. Now, this algorithm does take into consideration the base points of a Me, right, Antilev?
Yeah, actually, that's something I forgot to mention. The Miis get a blanket 5% bonus for their base points. They also get 1/3 of the value of all their mid shelves, because there's basically a 1 in 3 chance any of their mid shelves will be a top shelf due to that first track cup bonus. So if a Me is getting the similar type of coverage as a regular high end, that you could really see them being the most valuable drivers in the game easily. Yeah.
So I think these are going to be really strong. You notice that there's no upward arrow, downward arrow, because it's a brand new top 10 list. But you saw that these were some of the top 2 drivers in the game as they were. You saw Yoshi Kangaroo, number 3. He's still been really strong. Charging Chuck saw a huge jump. He's number 4 on our list. Really strong right now. Again, he's still kind of peaking. He might be slightly past his peak, but he's got really, really strong quantity of tracks, and you can see there by in the algorithm it shows very evident there. Luigi Vacation. This guy is peaking right now. He seems to be getting some really fun tracks. He might have even peaked just last tour, but really strong driver. If you had him and you took him to level 7, you've been really enjoying rank the last couple weeks. Got Yoshi Gold Egg going out the list. No surprise here. Any Coinbox driver that's relatively new, especially with those little lump sum bonuses there for the tracks it hasn't seen. Really strong. Kamek at number 7. So you see really good coverage here, or really good representation of some of the top skills. And then we get into the first non-top skill, which is Peach Explorer. She hasn't been in the top 10 necessarily here recently, but she's been in the top 15 really for all year round. She's been really, really strong when it comes to the number of tracks. She's just absolutely crushing that total number. It's really up to you as if you have other skills, but I think if you're free to play, she's a strong one to invest in if you have to. And then you have the Silver Me Racing Suit at number 9, and then Shy Guy Ninja still holding on to the top 10 at number 10. Rounding that out, Rosalina Tanuki at 11, Mario Saddle of You at number 12, King Bob-omb Gold at 13, DK Jr. SNES at 14, and then Mario Tuxedo at 15. So really, really strong representation of some of the top skills here. No surprise there with really just kind of 3 not top skills. Peach Explorer, Tanuki Rosalina, and DK SNES Jr. Really, really strong representation here though. Overall, Antilev, what are your thoughts on your new list?
Yeah, so I think like Meowser and Gold Me, they're no matter what numbers we put in, they were like 1A and 1B. They're way ahead of the rest of the pack. The scores aren't posted here, but they're like Yoshi. I normalize it so the top one has a score of 100. So Meowser and Gold Me are like both in the 90s. One's 100, one is 90 something. And then Yoshi Kangaroo is like 70. So those 2 drivers just by far the best 2 drivers in the game right now. Charging Chuck went up a lot because he got 2 buffs and he's also in ranked twice, so he gets a big bonus for being in ranked twice. Luigi Vacation, he also in ranked, and he's got a few exclusives. I think he's got 3 exclusives, which is huge for a non-Coinbox driver. Yeah, but for the rest, I mean, it's we'll see how it goes. It may be a little bit heavy on the top plus skill drivers. We maybe need to reduce the impact of skills, but I mean, yeah, I think for now it's a pretty fair reflection of the meta and like what people are investing in at the moment.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's a pretty strong list. Let's see what you guys say. Leave a note in the comments what your opinions are. But we also have the Karts. We had the Combo Cruiser number 1, which we alluded to. The Jukebox Buggy, yes, a little smaller hitbox, but really, really strong coverage. Been in ranked as well. Prop Kart, it's got great everything. It's really, really strong. Still peaking. Great number of tracks left to go. Tsuki Kart. Still strong cards. We've seen, though, a major shift away from the meta trifecta between the Yellow Off-Roader and the Vampire Flyer and the Silver King, which were the top 3 cards, and Cactar. These were the top 3 or 4 cards really for the last 4 or 5 months. So you've seen a big changing of the guard. Newer cards here. Cupid Zero at number 6. Cactar at number 7. Rombi Runner at number 8. Luna Cruiser at 9, and Armored Rider at 10. This is our top 10 list, with Silver King at 11, Star Broom at 12, Magna Broom at 13, Roaring Racer at 14, Jet Cruiser at 15. Part of me thinks that you just created the algorithm to make sure that the Vampire Flyer fell off the top 15. Is that right? Is that how you put together the algorithm?
It was going to happen whether Dave would quit or not.
So tell us a little bit about your top 10 cart list.
So you can see there's a lot of really big carts on here. So we're still keeping the cart modifier, the cart size modifier, similar to the way Tabor had it. But there are some exceptions, obviously. The Jukebox Buggy is not a very big cart, but it still managed to get up there, just has really good coverage. Roaring Racer, the Brooms as well, not huge cars, but they're up there. The Combo Cruiser is number 1, even though it doesn't have the best coverage, because it has so many new tracks. It's got like all the Wario shipyards, it's got Mushroom Gorges, Sky Gardens, it has Coconut Malls, so many new tracks, and those are just so valuable because we see them more often in ACR. We see that there's a bigger chance those are going to come back in ranked. And it's got the big hitbox as well. So just to give you an idea of like how a given cart can have a high value without having even huge coverage relative to the rest. But other than that, it's a new list, so I don't. I think there are a couple of surprises here, like the Jet Cruiser making the top 15, but I think, again, that's because it's in ranked twice and it got 2 new buffs. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there are a lot of huge surprises here. Cupid Zero really went up relative to previous tours, but I think that is well deserved. It's getting a lot of buffs, and it's a good card, so.
Now, one cart that I don't think a lot of other people are surprised about, but I am, is the Rombi Runner. It used to be a great cart. Used to be number 1 cart in the game. It kind of fell outside the top 10 for a while, and then but now it's back in pretty strong. I'm surprised that is higher than the Silver King, as an example of who came out after it and was also number 1, and has kind of fallen outside that top 10.
I think there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, Rombi Runner is a bit bigger, so it has a bigger hitbox multiplier. Secondly, it's in ranked, and I don't think Silver King is in ranked.
Okay.
So it may not be that case next week, So we have to see how much volatility there is to including the current ranked appearances only, and maybe I have to reduce that. And then I think. What else was I going to say? I think it has a few more paywall tracks. The value of its tracks are a little bit higher. Silver King, I think, has more RTs, which are counted a little bit less in this algorithm. Okay. A good knee-jerk reactions, I'd be like, yeah, Yellow Off-Roader, it was such an awesome cart. But I also know, I filled out my ACR sheet. I've been trying to do that earlier on before I record this, just to get a good understanding. I'm not really using that much this tour specifically, and I'm wondering if that's because it hasn't gotten quite the buffs, the last 2 tours or something like that. But it's still a great card. We have so many carts. If anything's on this list, it's certainly a great investment. Definitely worth your investment for sure. Let's get to gliders. We still have this Golden Wings at number 1. No surprise there. Starry Great Sale. I'd love to hear a little bit more about the data behind that. We've never seen it this high, but nice to get it there.
8-bit bullet bill above the black rate sale. That's quite intriguing, but no surprise. I mean, any of the 8-bit items have been really, really strong, with the 8-bit Super Mushroom at 6, with a ship's wheel at 7. Galaxy Glider, nice to see this one on the top.
One of your favorites, huh?
Dude, I took it to level 8, I think it was like 2 tours ago, and I have been absolutely loving it. It's one I was already using a lot, and now I'm using it even more. I'm so pleased with that. We did see a big drop from the Candlelight Flight down to number 10. Love to hear a little bit more about that. And then we have some surprising ones in the top 15, including Dragon Wings at number 11, Glinting Parasol up at 12, Meteor Balloons at 13, Silver Manta Glider at 14, and Silver Surf Master, a former number 1 at one point, number 15 on our list. What are your thoughts on the top 10 gliders?
So I think, first of all, like Golden Wings, actually, I made the ranking first for Karts and Gliders because it was a little simpler during the Doctor Tour, and Golden Wings was not number 1, and it jumped up like quite significantly just because of the buffs it got this tour. Starry Great Sail as well also jumped up because it got a new buff, and I think it's in ranked again as well, so it just has some extra value. The thing about Starry Great Sail is it keeps getting new tracks. It's an older glider, but it still keeps getting buffs. I mean, it got a Coconut Mall, it got a Koopa Cape, it got a Warrior Shipyard more recently. It seems like at least every second tour it gets a new track, so I think that's kind of the reason why it's set up here. It's got, I think, like something like 26 non-cities now, so that's top coverage in the game, tied with Golden Wings and 8-bit Fireflower and 8-bit Mushroom, maybe, not sure exactly. I think the main reason why you see some movement in this compared to Tabor's list is in Tabor's list, ranked history was 40% of the value of the glider, and we're not using ranked history here. We're using some other stuff to kind of try and approximate that, but it's not going to be exact, so that's probably why you see like the movement around, and then stuff like 8-bit Bullet Bill and Dragon Wings is probably more because there's like a little bit more emphasis on just like pure coverage here, relatively speaking. So that's basically it. But
okay.
we can still mess with the numbers to do anything. I also tried to make it so that the glider skills didn't have too big of an impact.
No, I really like that.
Items.
I don't think the skills have much to do with it. And honestly, I saw I think on the last algorithm, a coin glider kind of got hurt a little bit. Got nerfed by its value, which, again, I get it. If you have a coin box driver, you don't want coin frenzy, but you still, there's a lot of drivers where you want to get that boombox and a coin. You want to get that lucky 7 and then a coin. You want to still get a coin. I think overall, getting a coin glider is still good. I will say there is something to be said for kind of the field test, and for me, like Galaxy Glider, I looked back at my All Cup ranking. I saw it all the time, and I was like, I have to take this up. And I feel like there's so many people that this tour, that was the Starry Great Sail for them. Like, they felt like it was really, really powerful. And this tour, they said, I'm going all in. And so I think from that perspective, a lot of people's guts were right in this algorithm, if you look at it that way. I mean, 8-bit Fireflower, how long we've been praising that glider. And I just, I felt really good about it too. 8-bit Bill, I have at level 700. I don't know if it was as clutch for me, but the tracks it does have, it's been coming back in ranked here recently too. So yeah, man, I feel pretty good about this list. I think one question that people might have is about this Candlelight Flight. Any reason why it fell down to number 10?
Let's have a look. I think it didn't really get buffed, and it's not in ranked in the same way that some other items are. So the disadvantage of this is I don't have the specific category rankings. I might have to come up with something for that in the future, but for now, I mean, it's not so I think the main reason why it's a little bit lower is because it gets a little bit downgraded for not having a lot of the newest tracks. It's got a bunch of Bowser's Castles, it's got some RMX Ghost Valley, Shy Guy Bazaars. It's got a relatively high amount of older tracks, so it has really amazing coverage, but it doesn't get bonuses for, compare that to Combo Cruiser, which is having tracks that are almost all from the last 5-6 tours.
Okay.
I think that's a big reason why it dropped so much. So yeah, could probably bring it up the list by reducing the track newness ratio, for example.
I still think the newness is good. I mean, here in 2022, we've seen the new tracks come back over and over and over again, which I think is great. I think it's great for the game that like we get to keep enjoying these new tracks. Which again, I'm so glad Coconut Mall is back. I'm so glad that in fact. It's just such a pleasant surprise. So I think that for now it's good. I think if that algorithm was last year, we may not have made as much sense. But I think right now that makes a lot of sense. And then let's get into the ACR MVPs. Just based on time, we want to keep it condensed. We have a lot of doctor items, really everything in the 12 and 11. So again, out of the 36 tracks that you can use every tour, obviously some of them are used twice, and so you see a lot of doctor items being in the used 12 times, 11 times, with Dr. Peach being the only 12-time person being used. But Dr. Bowser 11, green yellow capsule cart 11 as well with Dr. Bowser, pink magnifying glass at 11. Then we have pink capsule cart used 10 times. The biggest surprise here, Baby Mario Hanafuda, used 10 times in all cup ranking. Again, on the last slide, or on the top 10, huge shout out to Rashid, who does the hitbox algorithm. MKD Ben does the all cup ranking MVP. So huge shout out to everyone who's been doing the data. Certainly never want to take those people for granted. We've seen, what a shakeup of not having that data has done. Curtis did the data for the hitbox before, and thank God for Rashid picking that up, and thank goodness for Antilev for you picking up the top 10. We're still would love to get your feedback, but we're just so thankful for everyone who does all this behind the scenes. And now Larry98, thank you again. Going to the items that are used 9 times in all cup ranking, Peach Wedding, quite a surprise, number 9. I think part of this is the wedding. I'm sorry, the Royal Wasteways used again this tour. We have the Flyberry book and the Aurora balloons, both 9 times as well. We have 3 drivers used 8 times, including the question mark block, which you may not be able to even use till week 2, but it's worth knowing it's there. You may not have it at a high level since you just got it in order to use it for all cup ranking, but it's good to know it's there. Daisy Swimwear at Dr. Mario as well. You have a lot of Happy Ride. I'll say, I think all 8 tracks that Happy Ride uses this tour, I'm using it. It's a really relevant tour for the Happy Ride, between the Toad Circuit and the Koopa Troopa Beach and all these tracks, even Royal Raceway. I think the Happy Ride is this is the top. I even thought about triple uncapping it or something, because it's still really strong in the meta. But again, it's got a lot of older tracks, so it's really tough to justify that. Magnifying glass and another Hanafuda, the Jumping Mario this time. All these using 8 times. Then we have a number of items used 7 times, including Dr. Luigi, Toadette Explorer, Silver Me Racing Suit, and then Peach Vacation. Nice to see Peach Vacation on that list. She's such a fun driver. I still, she brings back so much nostalgia from 2.5 years ago, man. It's crazy. Then we have the Capsule Cart, the White Bruiser, the Jet Cruiser, and the Prop Card. In fact, that White Bruiser, I think I had it at like 4.5. I took it to 5. Just went ahead and put a ticket on it because it, and then so I could uncap it once just to use it. I think 4 times. It's still for a new item. I really like this White Bruiser. I wasn't sure what it would be like coming out of last tour in that special pipe. But I think I really like the way it's being used this tour. If you had to put tickets, feel free. And then the Star Grid sales, we talked about, a lot of people loving that. And then Daisy Glider and the Chocolate Donut. What do you think about the All Cup ranking MVPs?
Yeah, some surprises here, but I think because we have a lot of these older tracks, like you
Hey,
said,
can you move your mic in just a little bit?
Yeah, sorry, did you? Okay. Yeah, I think there's some surprises here, but I think if you look into the tracks, we got these older tracks like Bowser's Castle 2, Toad Circuit, Koopa Troopa Beach that didn't make sense. Just a couple things to add, like there are a couple of plus skill drivers with 6 top shelves this tour. I think Rosaline Volendam is on 6. Gold Me Racing Suit is on 6 as well. You got Kamak on 5 and Mario Tuxedo on 5. Just if you're thinking about maybe investing in certain plus skill drivers for World Cup ranking, but they didn't quite make this list.
Yeah, and if you have the gold Me racing suit, feel free to invest in that because it's we haven't really got to talk about it here, but it's really, really strong. I think when we were doing the tour reveal, I heard from I think it was Professor J who said something like, just same 200 action count track, two additional nearly 2,000 points that you're getting different just for having those base points for the gold Me racing suit. It is.
And those base points will go up. At max, it's I think 1,550 right now, but they will go to over 1,600.
Even just with the coin box head, you're going to get an additional 10 points there. So it's going to continue to go up. I think the general thought process is it might max out at 24 based on data mining. Something suggested that the Me Cup has a total of 24 Me possibilities at one point. So we'll see. They could change that, but man, this could be crazy. So I have mine at level 7. I'm one ticket away from taking it to level 8. We'll see if I can get it before next week. It'll be interesting. All right, let's talk about ranked tracks. There's nothing unlocked with the Koopa Cape, but plenty to talk about for Toad Circuit T. Nabbit's going to be probably your best bet here. Unlocked at level 3. Really strong option there for you if you don't have any of the other top skills like Volt and Dom. I think she's got that track as we talked about. For the karts, nothing too crazy that you might be running into. Sports Coupe, you might have a level 3. Star Spangled Flyer, for some reason, you might have a level 3. Yellow Taxi, you probably do, especially the older players, you have it at level 3. Newer players, definitely not. And then you have the Cloud Glider. That's a really strong one to have at level 3. Flower Glider as well, level 3. Hopeful Glider might be tough to have it at level 6, but there's plenty of options, even not looking at what's unlocked. This is an old track from back in the day. Then we have the Vanilla Lake 2. Some really strong options here. Birdo Black at level 8. You might have that. That was one that people were investing pretty strongly in. Penguin Toadette, probably not. For the karts, Frostwing at level 6. You might. Nothing else really you'd probably have. Maybe the Sleigh Rider for the old folks, you might have that at level 3. And then Aurora Balloons at level 6 and Waluigi's Mustache level 6. So a little weaker unlocking here for the Vanilla Lake 2, but there's plenty of options. And you know that I'm using the Vampire Flyer. Let's talk about the week 2. We got the Big Shy Guy Ninja at level 8. So you and I are going to be loving using him for Warrior Shipyard RT. That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Green Yellow Capsule level 6, and then Wicked Topaz at level 8. It's gonna be really hard to have a level 8, but man, it's intriguing there. Nothing unlocked for the Koopa Cape T. No surprise there with some of these new tracks. They don't always give a lot of unlocks. But then we have Bowser's Castle 2R. A lot of options here for unlocking, including your brand new question block Me racing suit. If for some reason you had it, you took it to level 6, it's a great option there. But I think everyone's going to be using, a lot of people are going to be using Dry Bones Gold level 3 or another coin box driver, probably not the question mark block. We have the Banana Master level 3, DK Maximum level 6, Koopa King level 3, Silver King level 6. It's probably going to be a popular one being used there. And then for the gliders, you got 8-Bit Bullet Bill level 6, a strong one there. And then the Star Spangled Glider, level 6, Wicked Wings at level 3. Some really strong options there. So there you go. Ranked tracks unlocked for ranked. We don't have the multiple use ranked, but that's okay. I think from this perspective, that's pretty solid. Gives you an idea of what's unlocked. And so you can go out and hit up ranked. Thank you guys so much for your support. I think as we were coming out of the Tabor retirement, there were some adjustments. I'd love to get your feedback and comments. But overall, we're so glad that we get to keep this going and continue having fun with you guys. Thank you to Antilev. Thank you to Larry98. Thank you to everyone who has helped us keep this show alive and running and in your YouTube streaming news feed. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you guys, and it's something I want to keep going. It's been a busy year for me, but I absolutely love recording this with you, Antilev, and joining you guys on the premieres on Saturdays and sometimes Sundays. Maybe even, I think we've had it on a Monday or something too. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you, Antilev, as always. Anything else you want to say on your way out?
Yeah, no. The only thing I want to add is I think we can put a link to the rankings in the video description, and please have a look and give us your feedback. I don't want to it should be maybe a little bit of a community effort to come up with a good way to do these rankings. So yeah, please have a look and let me know your thoughts.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much, and good luck finishing up Dr. Fest. See you guys. Go Bowser!